So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. From his end zone, here comes Carter. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback.
The Chargers take over first and 10 at their own 19-yard line.
The Charger drive about to get going.
Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. Running on first down, Eckler. And he stopped immediately there. The Chargers going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half.
At the 43-yard line.
Herbert. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete.
So many times when we talk about coverage, we're just about a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is understanding where the football is, finding it. In this case, when it arrived, it wasn't a surprise, and he was able to bat it away.
They had the incomplete pass on second down. Now they need a big play here, 3rd and 10. Herbert now. Williams brings it in. Touchdown, LA!
Mike Williams.
43 yards.
And the Chargers are on the board here in the final minute of the first half.
Extra point good by Hopkins. And that cuts this lead down to 13. Following the touchdown, Dustin Hopkins will kick it away.
This is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone.
And he's probably realizing he should have stayed in the end zone as he can only muster a return to the 14-yard line.
At their own 14-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense.
And with a 2-score lead already, they may just look to get this thing to the locker room.
On first down, Locke. And he goes down. It's a sack. They get him back at his own 3-yard line. Now the Chargers will use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. On second down, it's Walker. And he'll just keep 2 hands on the football as he'll be taken down after a short pickup. Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. And they will get to him behind the line, but the clock continues to tick down. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave them with a 4th down. And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports.
Both these teams, no doubt, making their final halftime adjustments as we speak. And for the call of the second half, we get it back out to Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Welcome back. halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. The Seahawks with the advantage, and they get the football first as the second half is underway. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Now Locke going to run a little touch pass here to his wideout. And he is going to lose yardage here. Well, I think the hope is, with a touch pass like that, maybe you catch the defense off guard, but they were all over that one.
And it is the kind of play that works better against certain defenses, and this clearly was the wrong one to run into. Really nice job getting him down behind the line of scrimmage.
Now on 2nd and 13. Locke returning right back to Lockett. They'll give him 4 yards there, and that's going to set up a tough 3rd and 9. Locke going to throw. Incomplete. So no problems moving the ball in the first half, but they'll likely come up empty here on drive 1 of quarter 3.
And it was so important for the defense to get that stop, because what we witnessed in the first half was them getting run over, and they needed the confidence, and they needed to get off the field so they felt good going forward in this game.
So a change of possession here on the punt, and that will come the offense as they take over.
At their own 26-yard line.
The Charger drive about to get going. But their defense did its job by forcing the punt to start things out, and now, Charles, can the offense get in gear?
I think, partner, you can sense him saying, okay, the first half was theirs, but now let's get the momentum back on our side. We forced a punt. Now let's go downfield and score. If we do that, we'll be set up well for this second half.
Another attempt, another incompletion, and when I look at the scoreboard and where we are in this game, it comes to mind that they have to start getting the ball in the hands of their playmakers. Throw it to the guys that maybe can take a short pass and turn it into a long gain, or make people miss downfield. They've got to have points, and the guys who can put the ball in the end zone, they're the ones that need to touch the ball.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Now Herbert with it, looking to pass. And this pass broken up. The contact well-timed there, and now 4th down.
As his old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out hot. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
Yeah, he was looking for the checkup bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you can attempt to play the field position game.
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
Now a play fake, and here's Locke. And that is incomplete.
But has not been the best game for him, but he definitely tried to get by with a little help from his friend there, trying to create a big play.
Couldn't do it, fell incomplete, but you're right, hasn't been a banner game here in the second half, just trying to get going.
Big thing is trying to keep confidence up and continue to fire.
things a little bit here. This is 3rd and 10. They look to throw. It's Locke. And he'll be stopped short of the first down as they rally to tackle him at about the 28. Give him 8 yards that time on the scramble, and now 4th down. Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Seattle. Here comes Carter. That's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
The Charger drive about to get going.
And Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there was a quick 3 and out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Here's Herbert. And he'll just get rid of him.
I'm getting the sense that this offense is getting frustrated. Here we are into the 3rd quarter, and they've had plenty of opportunities to get in sync. Thus far, that hasn't happened. They're looking for answers both on the sidelines and in the huddle looking at each other.
To throw on 2nd and 10. Herbert.
Nowhere to go for Herbert, and he's going to go down.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Now it's Herbert. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
As a coaching staff, you can call just about whatever you want because you understand you have guys who reliably take away those massive shots downfield. You're not as worried about giving up the big one.
And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 20-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? How do they score here, especially a touchdown? It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team. That their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still 3rd quarter. Just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they? He came through well with a nice pass breakup there. Fortunate that he was on the spot. He's the only guy left to prevent the 1st down.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Now Locke dumps that off to Penny as running back. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. A pickup of 5 that time and a 1st down. 3rd and 4, he did just enough. I mean, just enough to move the chains.
And that's all you're looking for, right? Just want to keep the drive moving. You don't need the big play there. Just get to that marker that you described, and he was able to do just that.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
Now Locke going to run a little touch pass here to his wideout.
And he's got room. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle.
So that run there, yeah, I don't know if it's overstating things to call it a thing of beauty, but in terms of football plays, that's as good as you're going to see.
And this is a play defensively where you're just looking around and saying, what was that? What just happened? You're looking at your teammates. They're looking at you. And let's face it, your defensive coordinator, he's not going to tip his cap to him. That's not how football works. But he probably should have after that run. That was absolutely sensational.
And he is not going to get in there. He stopped short of the goal line, and the lead is going to stay right where it is. The kick unit for the Seahawks out there on the field, and we are ready to rock.
From his end zone, here comes Carter. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23.
Take over 1st and 10 at their own 23-yard line.
The Charger drive about to get going. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
Now Herbert, throw left side is hauled in by Palmer. They'll wind up getting just a yard out of it, and it's going to be 3rd down and forever.
3rd down.
And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Chargers on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and a mile. Back to throw here, Herbert. And he goes down. It's a sack. They get him back at his own 3-yard line. The 330-pounder Al Woods brings the boom on the sack. Here's J.K. Scott now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Now it's Lockett. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10.
37-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Well, the win for them at this point seems pretty assured. I mean, still a decent amount of time left here in the 4th quarter, Charles, but you got the football, you're up 3 scores. They have to be feeling really good about where they're at.
I love your observation skills, partner, because I think you saw them charge onto the field fired up about another chance to get into the end zone. Looks to me like this group is ready to crush any hope left on the opposing sideline, and they want to do it with some gusto, too. Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Now here's Michael Dixon. He's been terrific so far. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback.
Let's go now.
The Charger drive about to get going. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Herbert setting up to throw on 1st down. Over the middle, and it's caught. Keenan Allen. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line, tackled there. So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. Herbert's throw going into the hands of Williams. And all the way in for a Charger touchdown. Mike Williams. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Chargers have got it back to a 2-score game here in the 4th.
Well, they needed 3 scores to have any chance. There's the first of the 3 as they get into the end zone.
Yeah, Brandon, I think that our guys at Next Gen Stats in charge of the win probability are probably saying your chances still aren't great. But now, you still got more than 3 minutes to go. You got to focus on the task at hand, which is going to be getting the football back as quickly as possible.
Dustin Hopkins picking off for the Chargers.
Following the touchdown, Dustin Hopkins will kick it away.
And it'll be a touchback as Tyler Lockett says, I'm not going to return this one. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Now, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Throwing now is Locke. Keeps himself upright, but now he's swallowed up and taken down. Brought down by multiple defenders, and it's a loss of 12.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense. So he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
And this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on 3rd down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
Now here's Michael Dixon, standing about a yard deep in his own end zone. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Only 29 yards on the punt there. Definitely not his best. And the Chargers will be set up pretty well as they take over in great field position. On 1st down, it's Herbert. Caught by Allen. And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34.
On 2nd down, Spiller looking for space.
And he'll get a little over 2, maybe a full 3 down to the 32-yard line.
A 2-yard pickup brings up 3rd and 1.
Herbert wants to throw it on 3rd and 1. Over the middle, complete. It's Allen.
And he is going to have the Chargers' 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Herbert.
And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down.
Limited time left on the clock after that incompletion, so I think both sides are going to savor every second to prepare before the next snap. Because once the ball's in motion, it may be a nonstop push to finish this drive off. Everyone better be on the same page right now, because I think they're going to try and get several plays off in quick succession if they can.
And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Jamal Adams.
And the Seahawks are going to have it here as they'll start at their own 24-yard line. Well, to be frank, CD, this is getting tough to watch. I mean, you feel for him, but 6 interceptions, that's at a whole new level. It's not a good level.
It makes it tougher and tougher to come up with ways to try and support him, but you have to as a team because you can't just throw your quarterback aside. You're going to need him later on, but it reminds me of a time that a former defense coordinator of mine told me he was in a game where his quarterback threw 7 interceptions. So after the 6-1, one of the defensive players went to the quarterback and said, here's what you do. Throw the ball to the other team, and let's see if our receivers can pick it off and turn it into a completion.
That's just mean. I don't know that I'd go down there and say that to him right now. And the Chargers rush is going to get there. Down he goes. A lot of ground to cover here for Locke and the Seahawks. 3rd and long after that sack. Looking to throw. Block. Open man is Metcalf. He's got it. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. Boy, a nice play there as they wind up converting on 3rd and 15.
But when you're up by 2 scores in the 4th quarter and you're going to throw the football, expect to see a lot of man coverage because usually what comes along with man coverage is pressure. So if you're a play caller and you want to keep throwing the football, that's fine. Just make sure your offensive line understands they're going to get additional guys running at the quarterback.
Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Locke going to throw it here. He hits his target, Lockett. He'll head out of bounds inside the 10. Mark him down at the 9. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another 1st down.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomp down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football. And that one's going to be off target and incomplete.
Trying to get that one to his tight end, and they've been trying to get the ball to him, but as of yet, unable to successfully complete one. But you know there's usually a nice comfort zone in throwing to the tight end. Great sight lines, usually right in the middle of the field.
Another shot from the 9 on 2nd and goal. From the gun, it's Locke. This one goes underneath to Walker. Now a final chance to stop it here as a timeout comes in with 10 seconds left in the game. Only able to pick up 2, and that leads us to 3rd and goal.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Locke now on 3rd and goal. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
That is certainly one way to frustrate a quarterback. When those extra defenders on the field, dime package, lots of speed, no space to fit in the football.
Locke to throw for it on 4th. Oh, into a sea of defenders and intercepted. Picked up by J.C. Jackson. 2-score game here in the 4th, and that pick, it kind of keeps the door ajar, doesn't it?
It does, and you wonder about their strategy because with a 2-score lead, you think maybe you're just sitting on it trying to drain some clock. It's almost like they felt like, hey, we've got a good cushion. We can keep pressing it. It ended up costing them.
The Charger drive about to get going. This is just an exercise in futility. Do you even bother running a play here offensively?
I wouldn't, because now is not going to erase what's happened during the game.
And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Jamal Adams. And the Seahawks come up with a late turnover, but it will probably only matter to the statisticians as this ball game is now officially over. So the victory here for Seattle. And I tell you what, I can't remember a defensive performance as good as this one. They seemingly forced turnover after turnover after turnover. turnover every time you turned around.
Yeah, you can just get going with it, can't you? After turnover, after turnover. As this game unfolded, they were doing all the dictating, right? They told the offense exactly how it was going to go down today. So you saw them deflate with every series, didn't you? Every time they ran onto the field, it was slower and slower to get to the football because they just felt like if we go out there, we're just going to turn it over anyway. So it was really, really a stellar performance.